Well, it's that time of day again, or week, or month, or whatever it is, whatever time it is, where I look through a pile of pens and try to decide which ones I can say goodbye to. And I thought, well, I'll try it with these. Some of these I could say goodbye to, but no one's going to want them. Like this one. This one has a corrosion that's happening underneath the metal, and at some point this will just break right off. But I bet I could use this to make this one work. I recently bought this and I had to put a faux section in it because I didn't have one like that, so maybe I will upgrade this in the fullness of time. One day though, that whole top is going to go right off. There's other pens that I have that are pen and pencil sets, such as that one, and this one, and that one. So I don't want to say goodbye to this one. I want to say goodbye to these. This is a rare falcon nib. You can see the extra piece of metal that's supposed to help it hold extra blobs of ink. This one has been run over by a truck or something and very dented up. Am I just being crazy here? This is also dented up. No one's going to want this, except me. This is a pen only a mother could love, or Pierre Gustafson. Anyway, I guess I'm not saying goodbye to any of these. I have to keep them all of them. No, I'll try to look through them. And here I just mixed them all up, so that's ridiculous. Okay, the other pen that I want to talk about briefly. Wasky Squirrel, who I watched recently, talked about pens that he has in use, and they include a red, Carmine red Sheaffer. And these are Carmine red Sheaffers. But he wasn't sure whether it was a Carmine red Sheaffer or a Carmine rose Sheaffer. So I said I would show him the difference. And sometimes these are things where you have to see them side by side. So the thing that's missing in the Roseglow compared to this is the color red is slightly pinker than this. But imagine that this pen and this pen, these two pens, let's just make it a twosome, not a orgy. Let's imagine that these two had a love child. Well, the love child between the gray striped and the red striped would be essentially the Roseglow. The Roseglow is clearly a two-toned, it's not just pink, it's pink and gray. So there's sort of three stripes going on here. There's the black stripe, the pinkish stripe, and the gray stripe. There are gray stripes in here. These are just black and red, and these are just gray and black. But the Roseglow has a little bit of gray, which you can see, and a little bit of red, but the red is pinker in color. But the gray adds an iridescence to it, a depth to it that's really quite lovely. And it took me a while to find this pen. This is a Senior Roseglow, which is a relatively rare pen, and I could not find it. And my house has any number of pens can be. I've got pens in drawers that are pens that need to be fixed, that I own, not pens that I want to sell, but pens that I want to keep. They could be pens, if I have a pen and pencil set, I have a specific spot where I have sets. I also have pens in boxes, and then I have pens that have a particular attribute, pens that have names on them or engraving that I like, pens that are demonstrator pens, pens that have damage to them. I even have a little section for veterans of trauma. So there's many places that this pen could have been. It was not where I thought it was, and it wasn't in any of the other boxes it could have been in. I couldn't remember whether it had a matching pencil, which it doesn't have. These match other things. But so it wasn't in the set thing, it wasn't in my boxes, it wasn't in anywhere else. It was, in fact, in the wrong drawer. So how was I supposed to find it in the wrong drawer? Every once in a while, though, I think, oh my God, someone stole it. Now, that I would ever think any pen collector would ever steal another pen collector's pen, but that thought did cross my mind, and luckily it's a thought that I don't have to. Now, I haven't used this pen in years, but I remember that it had a very nice flexible nib, and Sheaffer flexible nibs are relatively rare. I'll say very rare, except in my house. My house, they're common, because in 30 years of collecting, I have specifically yanked perfectly lovely flexible nibs out of their pens that they originally came in and shoved them into pens that I want to keep. Or I leave them in the pen that they are already in and I want to keep it, so that's fine. But this pen may have had a two-tone nib, and I just put this one in it because I can have my cake and eat it too. I can have my Roseglow and my flexible nib. The only flaw in this pen, if I remember correctly, no, maybe I'm not remembering correctly. I remember once I was showing someone how tight the cap fits on the back, and I pushed down and it cracked along the seam. I thought it was this pen, but maybe it was a different one. Bad peer, bad. The pen does have some plating wear, as you can see, and that doesn't bother me either. So anyway, Wasky Squirrel. This is Carmine. What was nice about Wasky's pen is his pen was actually owned by someone named Carmine, and that was the color of the pen, and I liked that about his pen. So there you go. These are all keepers, but I should start selling them. I suggested to Wasky that maybe something I should suggest to myself as well. When I find pens that I want to sell or get rid of, sometimes I can sell them. I can always sell them, but sometimes they're not good enough to sell, but they still work really, really well. And I was thinking maybe I should have a little contest and give a pen away a month or something. And I was suggesting to Wasky that, to make you guys jump through a little bit of a hurdle, and you come up with the ending of a limerick. I'll give you the first line of a limerick. Somerville, nothing rhymes with Somerville. Boston. I could pretend I'm from Boston. There once was a pen from Boston. So let's say this is the pen I wanted to give away, and I'd say, there once was a Wahl from Boston. And then you guys would compose the rest of the lyric. You can make it as bawdy as you'd like. That wouldn't bother me. But the one that would come up with the best limerick would get the pen. So I may do that, just to get pens to people that I think deserve them because of their cleverness, and one less thing for me to trip over. That's an idea, though. How's that for an idea? See you later.